Hey everyone, I'm Danny, and welcome to Muggle Magic. I think the channel is literally like 100 subscribers away from 10K, so we're so close to the 10K giveaway. I think before I can post my next video, we're gonna be there. So again, remember there's going to be 3 winners, and the prizes are a Marauder's map with hidden footprints and a reversible cover, a Quibbler with 20 fully readable pages, a Weasley's Wizard Wheezes catalog with 10 readable pages, and a 9 3/4 inch oak wand from Ilchester Wand Shop. The DIY we're doing today is a map of Diagon Alley. Check out the description box below for a list of supplies, as well as a link to the free downloadable template, and let's get started. First, you will want to print this template on 11 by 17 paper. I also have an 8.5 by 11 and an A4 template, which you would just have to print the 2 pieces and glue them together in the middle. But once you have this printed out, you could do one of 2 things. Well, the easy way, you could just cut this out, frame it, and put it up on your wall, and then you're done. But I kind of wanted to age this a little bit first to make it look kind of cool. So instead of cutting this with our ruler and X-Acto knife like we normally would, I'm just going to fold it a few times where I would have put the cut. So I'll fold it this way, and then I'll just flip it over, and then I'll fold it the other way right along that same fold line. And then I'll go back and fold it one more time along that same line. And then you should be able to just kind of tear right where that fold is and get it started, and then it should just kind of rip pretty easily right along that line. And the reason we're doing this as opposed to cutting it with our X-Acto knife is because we still want sort of a straight line, but it comes out kind of more rough when we do it this way, and kind of more like a cloth texture. So now you should have a pretty straight-ish line here that's sort of soft, and kind of like a rough cut, but still soft like cloth. And we'll do that along all of these edges until all of the white has been ripped off. So now when you're done, you will have parts that are kind of, imperfect like this, and that's kind of what we want. You want it to not be a perfect cut. That's sort of what we're going for here. When you have all of the white ripped off from the edges of this, you can see, especially if you flip it over and look at the back, you can clearly see that there are fold lines in the texture here. We're going to fold this in half on those fold lines, fold it back and forth a few times, just like we did before we ripped this, just to make the fold a little more prominent. We'll just line up where that fold line is. And now we should have some pretty sharp folds in the map. The next thing we're going to do is take a piece of very light sandpaper, and then I'm going to fold it and then just lightly sand the paper just right there on the fold edge, and do that on both sides for each fold. And what that does is it just makes the fold lines look a little bit more worn. And now you can just start doing little imperfections and details into this to make it look a little better. So I'm just gonna make a little tear here and a fold, sort of like this. I'm gonna do a little rip here, and then I'm gonna fold this edge sort of like that. And since I make that fold, I can use my sandpaper to make it sort of worn like the rest of the folds. I'm going to do a tear here as well, but I'm just going to leave it. And I'm also going to do a tear on this side where that fold is. And this time I might put a little crease right there, curl this edge up a little bit like that, and then I'll just fold this corner over and fold it back up a little bit like that. So this fold's kind of a couple of different folds in the same spot like this. And now we have all of our creases and folds in here, and then you can just sort of crumple the paper a little bit just to make it look a little older. So just lightly crumple it like that and then flatten it back out. And this just gives it more of a older, sort of worn look to it. Now this last step, you can use a couple of different things to achieve close to the same results. I'm going to be using a wood finish stain marker, so it's sort of like a brown paint marker in a way. So I'm going to put on some gloves because I don't want to get this stuff on my hands. But you could just use like a brown marker, probably. I just think the results are probably going to turn out a little better with this wood finish marker. And all I'm doing here is I'm going to take the marker and then I'm just going to just color in the tears just along the like side of the paper. I'm not going to actually color on the front of the paper. It's just along the edge. And I'm just going to do this along the entire map. If you are using one of these wood stain markers, it doesn't smell very good, so you might want to use like a dust mask or something, just so that you're not breathing in the fumes for too long. So you can see that it sort of gives the edges more of like an old dirty burned look rather than just being like white, because we printed this on white paper. So I think that just adds a more realistic touch to it. And that's pretty much it. The map can fold up pretty nicely, and yeah, you can frame it if you want to, hang it on your wall, do whatever you want to with it. If you want a chance at winning the map that I made in this video today, there's a link in the description box to the weekly giveaway. Remember, I get a lot of ideas for these DIYs that I do from your comments. So if you have an idea for something that you want to see me do in the future, definitely leave a comment below and let me know. If you're interested in seeing more DIY videos having to do with Harry Potter and more, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.